Now, after understanding the importance of secularism, or why it is important to separate the state from religion, now we come on to the next topic, that is Indian secularism. Now, what is special in Indian secularism? Now, let us first study about the objectives of a secular state. Now, what are the aims which a secular state has to achieve? Now we know that Constitution has made it mandatory for Indian state to be a secular state. So what are the features of a secular state? So the first objective which the secular state has to achieve is that it has to see that one religious community does not dominate another religious community. Now if we take the example of India, here Hindu religion is in majority. So the Indian state must see that this Hindu religious community, they do not dominate the other minority religious communities like Muslims or Christians. Now the second point is a secular state must see to it that some members of do not dominate the others members of the same religious community. Now to understand this, we can discuss the example of untouchability again. Like in Hinduism, the upper caste Hindus, they believe they are superior than the lower castes, and there was practice of untouchability. So the constitution, they banned untouchability. So a secular state must see to it that the upper caste members of this religious community do not ill treat or dominate the members of the same religious community. Now, the third objective of a secular state is that it does not have to enforce any particular religion, or it does not have to take away the religious freedom of individuals. That means there should not be any official religion of the state. For example, in some countries there is official religion, like in Pakistan, like Saudi Arabia, they have official religions, Islam. So the Indian state, or a secular state, must see to it that they do not have any official state religion. So these were the objectives of the state, a secular state. Now, how does the Indian state achieve its secularism? This is our next topic. So what are the strategies, or what are the plans which the Indian state follows in order to be a secular state? Now, as you can see here, the first strategy is that it distances itself from religion. Now, we are very much familiar with the term distancing these days, no? We are following it, social distancing. Same way, the Indian state, it distances itself, or it keeps itself away from any religion. So that is why the Indian state, it is not ruled by any particular religious group, or it does not support any religion. For example, in India, if you see any government spaces like law courts or police stations or government schools, these the government offices, they are not supposed to display anything or that promotes any one religion. For example, in government schools, they cannot, in the morning assembly, they cannot go for such prayers which support some particular religion. So this is the way the Indian state distances itself from the religion. Now the second strategy is of the non-interference. That means it does not interfere within within the religious practices of any religion. And but of course, there are exceptions to this. For example, the state understands that the Sikhs, they wear turban, so it is not mandatory for a Sikh man, to wear a helmet, because the state understands that it is very, very important for a Sikh to wear a turban. So it's their religious practice. So they do not interfere in this practice, and they have allowed exceptions in the law. Then the third strategy which they follow in order to achieve secularism is the strategy of intervention. Now, intervene means to, like, sort of interference. No? Now you'll say that the second point says it is non-interfering, and the third point says it is intervening. No, or almost opposites, but there's a slight difference. Now, the third strategy is the strategy of intervention. We'll try to understand this point again by discussing the example of untouchability. Now, in Hinduism, the upper caste Hindus, they feel they are superior to the lower caste Hindus, and at one point of time, there was this the untouchability, the practice of untouchability was there. The Harijans, they were ill-treated, not allowed to go into the temples. So, now, definitely it goes against the constitution, the fundamental rights of equality. So the state here, it intervenes, it sort of interferes, and the constitution, they have banned the practice of untouchability, so that the lower caste people of the same religious community, they are not discriminated against by the upper caste. So this is the way the state intervenes in the religion in order to end this social practice. Moreover, and it also ensures this way that the fundamental rights of the lower caste citizens, they are not violated, and they get those fundamental rights. Another example is the state intervenes in some religions to ensure that the laws relating to equal inheritance rights, they are respected. So the state intervenes into the religious based personal laws of the communities. Now, if you don't understand the laws related to inheritance, inheritance of property, like in some religions earlier, it was believed that the property of the parents, it goes only to the boys only inherit it. But then the state, that it intervened into these personal laws of these religions to again bring in equality and to ensure the fundamental rights. The state can also intervene in the form of support. Like the Indian Constitution, it grants rights to some religious communities to set up their own schools and colleges, and it also provides them with financial aid. So, this is how the Indian state tries to be a secular state. So I hope you might have understood this much. And in the video, you might be seeing that at the end of some sentences, some numbers are written. Now, children, those are the page numbers. So, in order to, for the further reference, or in order to understand better, you can go up to those pages to understand those points better. Now, I request you to read these particular pages so that you are able to understand. For the time being, don't write down any notes, and after we finish the chapter, we will come discuss the question answers, and I tell you what you have to write. So take care and bye for now.